Well, it's Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. Let's go for a ride. We're here in Arlington, Texas, and I'm thinking about summer's past. Although it doesn't look like summer right now, it's kind of a gloomy, cloudy morning. But I'm thinking of summer's past, like way in the past, like 40 years ago or more. I remember before I had a car, I was born in 65, so this is about maybe 77, 78, 79. During that time period, sometimes I would earn some money mowing the lawn or washing and waxing the old Ford station wagon. And then, I think that's a 4G tower real close to my house. 5G, that stuff that will fry you. Not good. Anyway, back to the point. I would earn some money from my father, and then I would set off on foot to go to Lone Star Comics, which opened in the summer of 77, the summer of Star Wars. Over here is an old A&P supermarket, and over here, this little strip center used to be like right out of American Graffiti. It was called Powell's Drive-In, and it was a place where they would come and bring food to your car, and all the hot rodders would be in queue waiting to get in there, because they would wait in the A&P parking lot until there was a space. It was the cool hangout for all the teenagers that went to Arlington High School, and they would all bring their muscle cars, and then they would drag race up and down this street here, which is Park Row, and they would let's see, hold on one second. Yeah, they would drag race up and down this street. And there was another Powell's Drive-In way miles down that was the hangout of another rival high school, and they drag race up and down, because it was a boring kind of quiet town back then. Anyway, so I'd get on a foot on a hot summer day, and I would make this trip, and I should look at the mileage to see how far I walked. Wasn't that big a deal, but to me it was a big deal to walk all the way across town to go to a comic store to buy comics. Back then I was buying old Thor comics and old issues of National Lampoon. I guess I was about 13, 14. There's some good mid-century architecture over there. Anyway, so I would, this is usually probably the way I would have walked. Let's see, I'd come down here, and I think I'd usually make a turn here. Actually, I would cut through this, there's a baseball field. So the mileage wouldn't actually be completely accurate, because I would do a lot of cutting through, and I can't really do that with a car without getting in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, I think I would cut across these baseball fields. They actually have a soccer field over there now. Very un-American sport. Although I don't really like any sports other than I used to like roller derby when I was 5. We used to get that on television. That entertained me, but I'm not really a sports person. So I'd come along here, and we're coming up to UTA, the University of Texas at Arlington, which is the local university, which has traditionally been a commuter college. People commute from Dallas to Fort Worth and then leave town as soon as their classes are over. But I think more and more it's becoming a place where people live. Because they're building more and more housing. So yeah, there's Davis Street. So I would walk along Davis. Thank you. And this would have been how I would have walked back in the late 70s to go look at all those great old comics. And Buddy Saunders, who was a local guy that started dealing in comics right about the time that the first issue of Fantastic Four hit the racks when he was, still a teenager. He would buy comics here locally, he'd buy extra copies, and then sell them through the mail to other people in other parts of the country where the distribution wasn't as good. Apparently, there was a drugstore called Big World Drugstore that had, they put the comics out on the rack like magazines, and they had every issue, very good distribution from local distribution company, and they put them all out. There was no bending of spines for being on spinner racks and kids pushing them down. Let's see, usually I would make I think I would cut through here. A lot of times I'd cut through the frat row, and I would cut through this university, but I can't really do that. But let's see, I might have walked along here. Yeah. So this has all been built up. There's an old apartment complex, but then there's a lot of these new ones like so. And then this is brand new over here too. Yeah, UTA's changed quite a bit. And man, that used to be, it's back behind there. They built some apartments right in the middle of the parking lot in front of the activities building. So anyway, I would make this walk. Let's see, right now, how far? Excuse my French. Am I still recording? God damn it. Yes, I'm still recording. Yeah, I've got to meet a contractor guy up at the Home Depot, and I'm killing some time. We've got to pick up some materials because he's going to help me rebuild the drive-in screen in the back of the house, the backyard, so that I can watch movies at night while sitting in a blow-up swimming pool, which is a good way to beat the heat on a summer's evening. Oh boy, why would you wear a mask when you're outside? What kind of a moron? I guess that kind of moron. I mean, I interpreted the governor's rule is that you were supposed to wear the masks in stores, but when you're outside walking around, I don't really see the point that I'm noticing all these students walking around with them. Alright, so this is kind of the old downtown Arlington, what's left of it. They didn't tear down in the mid-60s. There's someone without a mask on. I'm proud of her. Let's see, what stories can I tell you about this? Okay. Not much. I take care of a grave in a cemetery kind of down this way. I showed that in a previous video. And coming up here, there's an arcade, like it's a bar, and it's got a gigantic arcade with all these games and pinball machines from the 80s. in late 70s, and you pay like, I don't know, $10 to get in, and they're all set on free play, and the place is actually called Free Play, and it's up here. Haven't been there in a while. Yeah. So let's see. A lot of construction going on, a lot of building. Arlington's kind of becoming a place, especially the downtown area. A lot of people are kind of coming into this area, trying to make it exciting, I guess. Down here is the cemetery where I take care of the grave of Hannah Vandiver. This is the Free Play place I was telling you about. So, alright, so we're still walking to the old original Lone Star Comics. Here's a cool building coming up here, which is good to videotape before it disappears forever. This thing's been here since the 60s. Really excellent architecture. It's the Johnny Balfour television dealership. Look at the old Zenith sign and RCA. And they're still promoting color TV. All those great light fixtures from that era. A lot of people bought their first color TVs there. I wonder what kind of cool artifacts remain inside that building. Something we'll never know. So a lot of these little tiny 50s houses built in the 50s because they brought in the GM manufacturing plant, and they needed housing for all the people that came in. So Arlington expanded exponentially during that time period. Okay, so we're on East Abram, and we're moving towards getting closer to Lone Star Comics and moving into kind of an iffy area.
Hi, this is the greatest drummer on earth, Dennis Wilson of the Beach. Oh, I wouldn't pay 2 cents.
And I'll show you why it's iffy in a second. Over there you can see the top of this giant dome. That's where the Dallas Cowboys play their exciting games. Or I don't know if they're going to play this year with the plague going on, but oh look, a homeless person. They even have them here. They weren't there when I walked to Lone Star Comics in the late 70s. I didn't encounter any of that. But even then, this area down here was not the most sought after real estate, which is probably why he opened his store down here. Quality used tires, you know that there's a taco shop. Salvation Army, there's never anything good there. Never anything good there. Looks like they've expanded the street relatively recently. This bridge was different. I found some good stuff in this thrift store up here. It looks like it's changed names. Now it's called Dirt Cheap. I don't know if it's a thrift store now or a remainder store. getting a little closer. Now you got to understand, in 1960, this was a kind of nice area. And this is where Buddy Saunders grew up and where he started buying comic books. And all of the Lone Star Comics Arlington stores have always been almost within a stone throw of the house he grew up in, including the location of the giant warehouse for mycomicshop.com, where he sends out comics. Very well packaged and very well graded. I recommend mycomicshop.com. Honestly, it's really good. Alright, so old hamburger places. Now it's a Chinese place. Yeah, this is the older part of Arlington. We're getting real close to the GM plant. This is New York. Yeah, this is getting closer. Did I pass it? I may have passed it. I think I actually passed it. Believe it or not, can you believe that? Yeah, we're getting too close to the GM plant. I gotta turn around. The streets are tricking me. Okay, I passed it. Let's see, and so it looks like I went about 5 miles. So I think it was a little less than 5 miles because I cut through, UTA more than I could with an actual vehicle. All right. Damn it. It's on a little side street called Gay Street. And this is New York. I thought Gay Street was on the other side of New York. Okay, where are you? This is pissing me off. Okay, this is Browning. Okay. Okay, over here, this parking lot, there's a memorial over here. That's where Amber Hagerman was abducted and killed. So that gives you an idea of this neighborhood. There's like an angel statue they just put up. Okay, here we go. They've changed the street. Look, they've lowered it. That's what they did. All right, well, anyway, this is, they're rebuilding the shopping center. Oh, and they got a wire around it. See this place here called Out of Africa Beauty and Boutique Salon, appointment only? That was Lone Star Comics. And that was Lone Star Comics right there. And on the big window, they had a Spider-Man painted. So, yeah. I missed it because they've changed these streets up. Yeah, that's the original Lone Star Comics. And sometimes my parents would drive me over here, and I remember my Uncle Guy drove me over here and bought me like $25 worth of comics. But usually, a lot of times I would just walk there. Yeah. So that was Lone Star Comics. But up here, I'll show you where Buddy Saunders bought all his, one of the places, because I understand Buddy Saunders went to every store in town and bought up all the Marvel Silver Age comics before it. He knew when they were going to be delivered, and he bought them all up. The place where he would walk, because his childhood home is close to here. It's this shopping center here, and somewhere in there was a place called Big World Drugs, probably right in here. They've changed the facade of this place and everything. But anyway, that's where he was buying Fantastic Four #1 and all of those issues. Somewhere in this. Oh, there it is. This is whenever you get one of those Amber Alerts, this is where it happened. She was abducted right here, and this is her angel. So, Unfortunate that's right next to a dumpster, but that was her. And it says, in memory of Arlington's little angel, Amber Hagerman. They just put up that angel. So yeah. Entertainmentcrazy.com. I guess that's the name of the artist. Okay, so that's the memorial to the little girl for whom the Amber Alert is named. So, and that was a good 20 years ago. So it gives you an idea. This isn't the best part of town. And I was walking here to go buy comic books, but, you know, anyway, so he was only, Buddy Saunders was only at that location for a little while, and then he moved further down Abram to 2 other locations, and then somewhere else, which doesn't really matter. I'll go show you the other 2 locations while I'm here and killing time, waiting to go to Home Depot. Make a turn here. Yeah, I mean, you just got to use your imagination and imagine that this in the 50s and 60s was a nice area. And it was, but that was before my time. We moved to Arlington in 1976, a year before the comic store opened. And so that was quite an exciting thing for me. In 77 as, let's see, I would have been 12. Okay, so we're going back down the other way on Abram. And then, of course, I would also walk to these other locations later on that were not quite as far. And I didn't have to go quite much into the shit zone. Ooh, that's a terrible smell. Woo. What the fuck is that smell? Must be some restaurant around here. Really, it smells like someone's burning a giant amount of marijuana. I just have my window down in the car. I mean, just wow. Okay, this is a cool old house. I'm not really framing things too well. Okay, we're coming up to the oh shit, this lane just ends. Oh, wonderful. Okay. See up there's a Fuzzy's Tacos. Right next to it was the 3rd location. Actually, the 2nd location was over here. It's now a comic store again. It's called Growl now. And then this Jimmy John's became Lone Star Comics. And let's go back here. And then the big warehouse was back where this guy's turning. Was one of these warehouses back here. Was where he kept all his comic books. And sometimes, like a couple times a year, there'd be a warehouse sale back behind. See, they've turned all these warehouses into like cool hangouts now, and this here Division Street Brewery, this place here, that was the warehouse behind the comic store where he kept all his comics. And a couple times a year he'd have a sale, and you'd be able to go into the warehouse and buy bags of comics, and there was no air conditioning, and they were all unbagged. So it had a wonderful heady smell of baking old comic books. Probably. And then he moved. The 3rd location was this Jimmy John's, which was originally General Bookstore. And then he moved down to Cooper Street. By then he didn't have old comics anymore, so I had no interest. At a certain point during that, when it was in that location that just said Jimmy John's, they stopped carrying old comics in the actual store, and it all had to be you had to get stuff mail order through the internet. So it lost its charm because I don't really buy that many new comics. Everything's changed down here. If you haven't been to Arlington for a few years, everything's changed. They built up all these big buildings and shit. I'll make a right here because I'm gonna head to Home Depot. So I'm making these videos just in case I move. Then I'll have these videos as a memory of these wonderful times. Old movie theater over here, the Arlington Theater, which now has music performances. It was the birthplace. It used to be a country music review for a while, and that's where LeAnn Rimes became famous. But when I first moved to Arlington, it said on the marquee, Assembly Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. But and I always joke, you know, boy, that movie has been there a long time, that Assembly Hall movie. But they were smart not to change the facade. They kept all the lights and neon up. And then when they sold it, and it was no longer a Jehovah's Witnesses place, you know, it still looked like a theater. They had screwed it up. So, fascinating stuff. That guy does not have a mask on. I'm shocked. Let's see if this lady has her mask on. Oh, shame on her. She's gonna catch it. She's gonna be hospitalized. Mark my words. Okay. Houses here all used to be places where people made meth. Charming. Yeah. Oh my God. I'll make a video of the drive-in screen being built today, and then I'll have a video of us enjoying the man, those fucking streets. Enjoying the movie. I do this channel. The content. I'm sorry, the videos I create. I hate when people say the word content. The videos I put up, it's just like a little diary for me, and I'm not getting a lot of subscribers because I'm all over the place. I don't stick to one thing. I was going to do a video yesterday, or I'll do it maybe later today, showing Treasury Edition big giant comic books, limited collector editions from DC and Marvel. And Metarog did a great video with, look at this motherfucker. Oh boy. She's mad about something. Metarog did a great video about with some other people, King of Comicdom and some other people did kind of a Zoom meeting showing off their Treasury editions. I'm just kind of distracted, wondering what they're building over here. Some big tall building probably. Yeah, lots of construction going on around here. Anyway, I probably should call this contractor and make sure he's he's awakened from a drunken stupor and is ready to meet me at Home Depot. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.